I know people are curious to ask you, okay, maybe from your hive, one particular hive, how much of honey can you get from it? Oh, I'm so scared right now. I'm so scared. Let me go. All right, guys. Today we are going closer to nature. I'm with Mr. Mike Abimifoluwa, right, of Distinct Farms or Distinct Agribusiness Institute. Okay, so they actually have an institute. This is a beekeeper here, right? Yeah, I'm meeting Mr. Mike for the first time, and he's been so welcoming. In fact, he gave me honey in its raw form. I had honey with the comb and everything, and it feels so good. You guys are missing out, and maybe hopefully someday you get to eat something like that too. Okay, so Mr. Mike, you said this journey started when?
So according to Mike, honey that you and I are familiar with is the least in the products that you can get from the honey bees. Join me as it takes us on this interesting tour.
That side. So there's another one in that other side, and there are few others around the premise which I'll also show you. So, but yeah, I would have said I should show you more on this to show you how the comb and all that looks like. So the first thing they do is the comb. Now, after creating the comb can be used for several things, either the honey, the propolis, the bee venom, the propolis, the bee bread, the royal jelly, and even for the eggs. So initially the height was not like that initially. So over the past one week now, the height has increased further. Hence, they start working on it. So now, once they are done fixing that one, now they tend to now fill it up with anything, and they can also cover it. You see the way they are being clustered around some combs. So that's the way they do. They will cover it up too. However, this particular colony, as it were, they've divided. We call it division. We call it swarming. So they've actually swarmed. So there are 2 queens now. Is that what you're saying? They've divided themselves from becoming 2 queens. What I mean is, this one has a queen, the other one too has a queen. Yeah. So they've gone already, so they are no longer here. That's why the population looks like it is small. Scanty, okay. Yeah, but then it's not scanty because you can't use your hand to count what is there. True. So that's actually for this one. So what would you say is the reason for their division? Okay, the excess of the division is actually as regards the particular season we are in, which is the swarm season. Okay. So and they tend to divide, meaning that this particular location is actually more fuller to accommodate them. Okay, like population wise, they are becoming too much for the. Yeah, so they tend to just divide to relieve the responsibility of those that are here, and others tend to go and forage for wheresoever they will be coming up from. So, and this is actually the period where they gather food that could sustain them for the years to come. So that's why they had to divide at this time. And if you even pay close observation around that third box, 1, 2, 3 combs. Okay. They from the left, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, from that white comb. Okay, from the white one. Yeah. You observe something at the edge that looks like an egg. Yeah. There's something that looks like like a swelling in the end of that comb. Yes. So that's actually the eggshell where the queen emerged from. So on this particular colony, there are actually around like 3 of it. On this particular colony. So, but they've divided. And one thing about the queen is, one thing about this beekeeping is that the first to emerge amongst the queen would always kill every others. The first to emerge. If it is this one that emerged first before the other one, that one will go ahead to go and kill every other ones. Hence, she can be the rightful owner of the colony. How will she locate them? She always locate them with the smell and what they feed them. What they feed them, because usually they feed them royal jelly. Yeah. Usually separate food, which is quite different from what they feed every other eggs. So that's why she'll be able to locate them, even with the smells and all that. So that's about this beekeeping and the queen and eggs and formations. So like I said, so that's another colony there. The same principle applies to them. Okay, are there bees there too? Yeah, there are. Oh yeah, this journey of beekeeping started originally from 2010.
2010. Okay.
Yeah, where I had to go around like that. And
Okay.
start learning and working around the beekeeping and all that.
Okay. All right, that's cool. I'm actually an animal scientist, but I must confess that when I met this man and he started explaining some things to me, it felt like I never heard about bees before. He told me a couple of things about bee, but what can you say is the most fascinating characteristic of this bee to you?
Okay, one thing I actually so love about the bees is the fact that they're a social insect.
Yeah.
So there's actually nothing that the bee does it alone. They work synonymously hand in hand. And like I earlier stated, anytime the bee goes to forage, they don't do it on just me myself.
Yeah.
They do it on the platter of if we will die, let us die
together.
and if we will survive, we survive together. So and at the same time, they are also an hardworking insect that they work with weather and climate. They know what to do part time, and sometimes they might also need the involvement of man to do some certain things, especially even one is a beekeeper.
Yeah.
But if they are left to nature, they know how to handle their things. If they are left to nature without human interference.
Okay.
So it's a unique thing about the insect that I so much appreciate.
Okay.
The hives we're actually seeing here are just a few to what we have on the farm.
Okay.
All right. So, but from what we have here, at an average of 5 liters, you can always get from each hive.
Each hive.
Yeah. So, but in an environment where they are probably productive, in every of our hives, you can get an average of 15 liters.
15 liters in just one hive.
Yeah.
Wow. That's huge. And what would you say is the most productive month or maybe season?
Okay. Presently, we're entering the season already, and that's why you are seeing all that in.
Okay.
So we've harvested, we're already harvesting, not really that, we're already harvesting, we'll still harvest. Now, we're done with the first, or we are still in the first, and we'll still do that till March.
Wow.
So March, April, we'll still do that. So some we harvested, like the one he harvested on Sunday, now we'll still go and harvest again, probably by January 15. We'll still go back there again.
Okay, that's roughly
a month to now.
In less than 2 months, just 1 month plus.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, because this is actually their season. We are currently in the dry season, so this is actually the season they work more. So to gather the honey.
So that is amazing. In just one hive, you harvest today, and in just about 1 month's time, you go back and you meet another 15 liters of honey. Wow, that's
a particular
just one hive.
That's there are some that are not like that.
Okay.
You understand? There are some that you need to subject them to observation. Okay. A good example is this one that you are seeing here.
Okay.
This one we still have to spend some more time, probably like 2 months now.
Okay.
Before you can get anything out of it.
Okay, based on the activity of the bees inside.
So, and your observation on the hive determines if they are ripe for harvest per time. So that is where the beekeeping understanding comes in play. You observe them, you inspect them, and that determines what you do per time, if they are ripe for harvesting or not.
All right, this is one person I found that talks about bees like I talk about chicken. You know, there's always a show of passion when he talks about bees. I tell people often that the way you care for your chickens determines what you get as your result. You know, people want their birds to be big and all that, but most people just go there in the morning and come back in the evening. But the way this man talks about bees, he talks about catering for their needs, giving them what you want. You don't just go to the hive and harvest all the honey and all that and leave them hungry. You actually have to cater for them in order for them to be very productive. Is that right?
Sure it is.
Okay, so it's a wonderful time. It's been a wonderful time meeting you, Mr. Mike, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come all the way from my end here to Ibadan. This is Molete, right? Molete, Ibadan, and I'm meeting Mr. Mike for the first time, and it's been a swell time together. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and we'll get to see more of you and do more together by God's grace.